On March 1, 2024, 26-year-old Sydney Thomas was hauling a load across the 2nd Street Bridge when a routine drive turned into a nightmare. A pickup suddenly cut into her lane, smashing into her semi and sending the entire truck hanging over the Ohio River for nearly 40 terrifying minutes. Convinced she was about to die, Sydney even thought about unbuckling and trying to jump clear. But instead, she relied on her military training, stayed steady, and prayed someone would reach her in time. After what must have felt endless, crews finally arrived and managed to pull her out safely. The pickup driver was later hit with multiple charges. Amazingly, Sydney is back to driving and has been on the road again for over a year. And that was only the first moment on this list. Things get much darker from here, including footage of a biker who literally went up in flames.
This next dashcam clip comes from Angeles Crest Highway in California, a route that climbs over 7,000 feet and is known for its deadly drop-offs. A man driving his 2004 Subaru Forester XT was enjoying the views and even leaned out with his phone to film the scenery. But once he finished recording, he made a terrible decision. He hit the gas in a stretch where speed is the last thing you want. Heading into a tunnel, he couldn't see what was coming, and immediately after exiting, a sharp curve caught him completely off guard. He jerked the wheel, lost control, and the Subaru started sliding off the cliff edge. Miraculously, the car came to rest on a raised rock wall, part of a drainage system that stopped him from plunging hundreds of feet down the mountainside. Without that pipe, he wouldn't have stood a chance.
This incident began as a normal workday for cab driver Ralph Rouleta in Reading, Pennsylvania. It was his first fare of the afternoon, around 4:30 p.m., and he was waiting at a red light with his passenger slouched quietly in the back seat. Suddenly, the man sat up and demanded that Ralph hand over everything he had. You can hear the panic in Ralph's voice as he tries to process what's happening.
Everything I got, man.
Keep your hand where I can see him.
I just started.
What else you got?
I just
Let me see
started.
your wallet. Let me see your...
I don't have anything in my
we
wallet.
can do this the hard way or we can do this the easy way, man. Let me see your wallet and let me see your phone. I need it all right now if you don't want to die, man.
Okay.
What the suspect didn't know was that a police cruiser had stopped right behind them. When the light turned green and the cab didn't move, the officer got suspicious, turned on his lights, and walked up to investigate. Within moments, he realized a robbery was taking place, ordered the suspect out of the cab, and took him into custody. Had that cruiser not been behind Ralph at the exact right moment, this could have ended very differently.
This next incident happened near Calais, France, where a truck driver found himself suddenly caught in a violent ambush. His dashcam recorded the moment a group of refugees created an improvised roadblock made from tree branches to force him to stop on the highway. These migrants had fled a nearby refugee camp earlier that same day after rioting broke out when police tried shutting it down, and they intended to hijack the truck. As the driver slowed, the group began launching rocks and pieces of concrete at the cab, with 2 large chunks of granite smashing straight through the windshield. The trucker, Mick Young, later said the whole ordeal was absolutely terrifying. He feared for his life and genuinely believed he might not make it out alive. Despite the attack, Young powered through the barricade and managed to escape. He suffered facial injuries that needed hospital treatment, and the assault caused around $3,000 in damage to his truck.
It's terrifying to imagine what might have happened if he had stopped, or even hesitated for a single second. But things are only going to get far more disturbing from here. In the early morning hours of January 3, 2020, a driver and his wife had just crossed into Mexico
when they encountered what looked like a harmless roadside stop with a few people standing around. As they slowed down, a car positioned in the center lane rolled forward, and several men waved them through as if everything was normal. But the moment the driver eased ahead, open. Robbed travelers and weaving past the blocking cars and speeding away before they could surround him. He was lucky to escape, because not everyone caught in situations like this gets out unharmed. In 2020, two American birdwatchers from Indiana, Aaron Pazan and Logan Howard, were traveling down a quiet back road in Mexico, looking for tropical birds to photograph. Everything felt calm and uneventful until a truck suddenly sped past them and armed men jumped out, turning the peaceful drive into instant chaos.
No, please, what?
From inside the car, you can see the panic take over almost instantly as the two men realize what they've driven into. The armed group surrounded their vehicle and began grilling them aggressively, trying to confirm they weren't spies or undercover authorities entering their territory.
Go, no, please, what? Please. Please, what? Please, what? No, Espanol, please. We're just... I'm about to pass out. Logan, don't, it's okay, it's okay.
No problem, okay? What?
No problem.
Tranquilo, pero... What's your name?
Aaron.
After asking for their names and why they were in the area, the armed men seemed convinced and eventually let them go. The whole encounter was recorded on their dashcam, and to this day, no one knows who those gunmen actually were, whether they were civilian patrols fighting cartels or cartel members themselves.
On August 18, 2020, Tyler Day was driving along Highway 128 in Napa County when he suddenly found himself surrounded by the LNU Lightning Complex wildfire. The blaze had erupted just a day earlier, sparked by thousands of lightning strikes and fueled by extreme heat and powerful winds. By the time Tyler reached that stretch of road, the fire was already raging completely out of control.
Blowing through.
His dashcam shows flames towering on both sides of the highway, with trees collapsing across the road and thick smoke turning daytime into complete darkness. The pavement was melting under his tires, and Tyler had no option but to keep moving forward, steering through burning debris with almost zero visibility. He managed to escape safely, but the wildfire went on to claim 6 lives and injure 5 more. At the moment Tyler drove through, the blaze was 0% contained and wouldn't be fully put out for another 45 days, ultimately burning more than 350,000 acres. Watching someone drive straight through what looks like the end of the world is genuinely terrifying.
On February 26, 2022, near Colina in Chile, a driver's dashcam recorded a terrifying attempted carjacking on a freeway ramp. Ahead of him, a white car began braking strangely and drifting in a suspicious way as it approached the tunnel. Sensing something wasn't right, the driver held back and kept his distance. Then, without warning, the white car stopped completely, and at least 4 armed men jumped out, sprinting toward his vehicle in an effort to force a carjacking. But the driver had sensed danger early and kept enough distance to react. In a split second, he hit the accelerator, slammed into the white car, and tore its door clean off as he sped away to safety. The attackers barely managed to jump out of the path of his vehicle. What's even more striking is how calm he stayed throughout the entire encounter. His quick reflexes and awareness are what saved him, and some who saw the footage even suggested this might not have been his first run-in with carjackers. To this day, there's still no information on whether any of the attackers were ever caught. On the subreddit Truckers, a user shared a disturbing dashcam clip titled, "Guy on Highway Throws a Bike on a Semi." In the video, a semi driver is traveling down a dark highway when, out of nowhere, a man steps into view and hurls a bicycle directly into the truck's path at the very last moment. Yet the driver barely flinched and kept the rig completely steady.
At first, it looks like nothing more than someone trying to cause trouble, but there's a much darker motive behind it. This was most likely an attempted robbery. If the driver had swerved, the semi could have tipped over or spun out, making it an easy target for looting. This next dashcam footage comes from Paducah, Kentucky, where police cameras captured an enormous streak of lightning so powerful that 2 different cruisers recorded it. The first officer was farther away, and his footage shows the massive bolt stretching across the sky. But the second cruiser was much closer, and what that camera caught is genuinely terrifying. The lightning struck a nearby house, missing the officer's parked vehicle by only a few feet. The blast of light and sound is almost overwhelming to watch.
If you could go back through it. Well, 2 reasons. One, it would be.
Fortunately, no one was hurt, and everyone walked away without injuries. But it's a moment that officer will remember for the rest of his life. This next Uber dashcam clip was uploaded by Reddit user Noi948, and it begins like a completely normal ride. The driver picks up his passengers and heads toward their destination, with nothing seeming unusual at first. But without any warning, the situation turns horrifying. The man sitting in the front passenger seat suddenly grabs the steering wheel and violently jerks it, trying to force the car into the path of an oncoming truck. The Uber driver struggles to regain control and manages to bring the car to a stop just moments before a deadly collision. The saboteur immediately bailed out of the car and took off running. The driver chased after him for a moment before returning to check on his passengers. This was likely an attempted insurance scam, but the Uber's cameras caught the entire incident, clearly proving the driver wasn't at fault. What makes it even more disturbing is that a woman and children were sitting in the back seat, meaning an entire family was put in danger for someone's financial gain. No one knows if the suspect was ever found, but the driver's quick reaction may have saved several lives. On September 24, 2024, a horrific crash unfolded on the M12 Vostok toll road just outside Moscow. A 25-year-old entrepreneur from Tatarstan, known online as Maloi, was driving his black Audi RS5 at speeds over 180 miles per hour when disaster struck. Dashcam footage shows a truck beginning to move into the left lane, and only seconds later, the Audi slams into it at an almost unimaginable speed. The impact was devastating. The force drove the sports car underneath the truck, completely ripping the roof off in an instant. At the moment of the crash, the Audi was still moving at roughly 165 kilometers per hour, more than twice the legal speed limit. When rescuers arrived, they worked frantically to free the driver from what was left of the destroyed vehicle, but sadly, he didn't survive. As investigators examined the scene, they uncovered something troubling. The car had no license plates, which were later found hidden in the trunk. It turned out that Malloy had a long history of reckless driving, with around 100 traffic violations and nearly 100,000 rubles in fines. This wasn't the first time he pushed his Audi RS5 to dangerous speed, but tragically, it would be the last. On April 29, 2013, a driver near Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan captured something truly horrifying on his dashcam. A Boeing 747-400 cargo plane had just taken off for Dubai with 7 crew members on board. The massive aircraft was carrying 207 tons of cargo, including 5 huge military vehicles known as MRAPs, each weighing between 12 and 18 tons. From the ground, everything looked routine as the plane climbed into the sky, but within moments, everything went terribly wrong. The aircraft suddenly pitched upward at a steep angle, stalled in mid-air, and then dropped nose first toward the ground, exploding into a massive fireball upon impact.
Investigators later discovered that during takeoff, one of the improperly secured MRAPs broke loose and tore through two critical hydraulic systems, leaving the aircraft completely uncontrollable. All 7 crew members were killed in the crash. The investigation revealed that National Air Cargo had failed to properly secure the cargo, and the plane had been overloaded from the start. It's heartbreaking to imagine what the dashcam driver witnessed, a devastating reminder of how a single mistake can lead to the loss of multiple lives.
This next clip comes from surveillance footage recorded inside a pickup truck in Chile. The driver had just pulled into a highway turnaround lane when the car ahead of him began slowing down and eventually came to a full stop. Moments later, the door flew open and 2 men stepped out, one of them holding a handgun. The driver instinctively tried to reverse, but another vehicle had pulled up behind him, trapping him in place. His only option was to go forward. He hit the gas, rammed the attacker's car, and managed to break free back onto the highway. The impact triggered the attacker's brake lights, but it barely slowed the pickup down. The footage was later given to police and posted online. Within days, the real owner of the attacker's car recognized it. It had been stolen several days earlier. Investigators believe the men planned to carjack the pickup as well, using a stolen car to carry out another crime. Thankfully, the driver's fast reaction and willingness to push through saved him from what could have been a far more dangerous situation.
On an ordinary Sunday in Shiprock, New Mexico, a trucker was out on a routine delivery when a pickup suddenly made a reckless U-turn right in front of him. The trucker honked to warn the driver, but that ended up being a huge mistake. The man in the pickup became furious and began chasing him down the highway, blasting his horn in retaliation. At first, the trucker brushed it off and kept going, but things escalated fast. The pickup pulled to the right and stopped, clearly intending to confront him. Realizing something wasn't right, the trucker continued driving, memorized the license plate, and called the police as the situation grew more serious.
There's a guy I'm driving a semi-truck and he's trying to run into me. His license plate is 6210, New Mexico. He's all over the road. He did a U-turn. He drove by me and flipped me off. I'm not for sure what's going on.
But while he was still on the phone with police, everything took a terrifying turn. The pickup suddenly came to a dead stop in the middle of the road, and the driver raised a shotgun, pointing it straight at the trucker's windshield.
He just aimed a gun at me! He just aimed a shotgun! He just aimed a shotgun at me! He just aimed a shotgun! Get the police out here, please! He just aimed a double-barrel shotgun and rolled his window down. I had to duck.
The trucker was stunned, but he kept a safe distance and stayed on the line with police as he followed. And then, unbelievably, it happened again. The pickup driver pointed the shotgun at him for a second time.
He just aimed his gun at me again. He just aimed the gun at me again. Now he's headed back towards the hospital. He aimed a gun at me again, and he's headed back towards the hospital.
The trucker who shared the footage later said that the man was eventually located and charged, although it's still unknown what the final outcome of the case ended up being. On November 19, 2017, in Clearwater, Florida, 2 police officers were handling what should have been a routine traffic stop on North Keene Road when their dash cams captured something unbelievable. Just 2 minutes after they arrived, a small plane appeared overhead, dropping rapidly, and it was coming straight toward them. As it descended, the plane's right wing clipped a tree, sending it spiraling out of control before crashing into the side of the road in the very spot where the officers had been standing only moments earlier. Just minutes earlier, 61-year-old pilot Mark Allen Benedict had taken off from a nearby airport with 1 passenger on board. Not long into the flight, the engine began to fail. Mark radioed the emergency back to the airport, but he didn't have enough power to make it to the runway.
As the engine deteriorated further, he was forced to attempt an emergency landing on the road below. By sheer luck, that same stretch of road happened to have 2 police cruisers already parked there, capturing the entire crash on their dashcam. Amazingly, despite the violent impact, both Mark and his passengers survived with only minor injuries, and no one on the ground was hurt. It's truly incredible that everyone walked away from something that could have easily been a deadly disaster. A 67-year-old Lyft driver pulled into an Arco gas station for what should have been an ordinary stop. As he refueled and cleaned his car in the quiet of the night, an ominous figure slipped in through the back door, and that's when the nightmare began. The suspect approached Lau with a gun pointed straight at him, demanding his wallet and anything else of value. The station's cameras recorded the man waving the gun threateningly while forcing Lau to talk, taking his cash and demanding the car keys. But when Lau explained that his vehicle was keyless, the attacker struck him in the face with the gun, breaking his nose. The assault left Lau with painful injuries and deep psychological trauma. Fortunately, he survived. But the incident is a sobering reminder of how exposed rideshare and delivery drivers can be during late-night hours.
In early January 2016, Christopher Telford was driving home through Lancaster, England, testing out a new head-mounted camera to record some countryside footage. But he ended up capturing something completely different. While traveling around 60 miles per hour, he crested a blind hill and suddenly saw a BMW in the opposite lane attempting to pass another vehicle, heading straight toward him. The BMW didn't slow down. If anything, it looked like the driver sped up, trying to squeeze through the gap. Christopher slammed on his brakes, but they locked, sending his car sliding sideways until it hit a wall and flipped onto its side. What happened next might be the most perfectly British reaction to a crash ever caught on camera.
Well, that was scary. Dear. I'm uninjured.
His small Toyota Yaris absorbed the worst of the impact, and he managed to walk away with only minor bumps and bruises. If that BMW had been going even a little faster, the outcome could have been far more serious. On February 26, 2025, a driver in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, had just finished his evening kickboxing session and was heading home on what felt like a totally normal Wednesday night. His dash cam shows him waiting at a traffic light, nothing unusual in sight. Ahead of him, a black car sat in the intersection, preparing to make a left turn. Then, in a single horrifying moment, everything changed. Out of nowhere, a motorcycle shot into the frame at nearly 160 miles per hour and slammed directly into the side of the black car with devastating force. The impact was so violent that the car erupted in flames instantly, and the motorcyclist was thrown to the ground, still on fire. This final clip shows a truck traveling down a highway in Mexico, with the driver and his assistant handling what seemed like a routine delivery. The dashcam footage begins calmly, but everything changes when 2 vehicles suddenly pull up alongside them. Armed gang members jump out and rush the truck immediately. With weapons pointed at them, both the driver and his assistant raise their hands. The assistant is dragged out first, and then one of the attackers climbs into the cab and forces the driver out at gunpoint. Another gang member takes the wheel and drives off with the truck, leaving both men stranded on the roadside. The entire coordinated hijacking happens in just seconds.